All right. Welcome, everybody. We are live. Welcome, everybody, to a special edition of Czaleo Knows It All, episode 23. Boy, the Michael Jordan episode. You know what I'm saying? That's right. We got there. We got a lot of special guests today. My boy, Hank Bronson, unfortunately couldn't be here today. We miss you, Big Dog, but he'll be back soon. You can see, I got my little bro, Chris, with us today. Chris G, straight out of Vegas, the Vegas Vato.
Yeah. Always good to
let
be
us know
on.
what's up. He's gonna give us some opinions on what he thinks about everything we got going on today. I also got my son, Czaleo Jr. Hello. Let's say hi, son. Say hello.
Hi.
All right, my son actually is curious about this whole world. He wants to know about the entertainment industry, and he is a very smart young man that is thinking about doing something with this. So I brought him to work today so he can see how the magic happens. And then we also got on the 1 to 2, Miss Jackie.
Hey.
Jackie, the very well known from here, Mysterious Jax from TGN. We all know and love her. She's going to be on the 1s and 2s today. So thank you very much, Jackie.
Yes, I got you.
All right, for taking the time to do that. I truly, truly appreciate it.
Yes,
As
sir.
you guys know, our show is always brought to you by La Suprema South Central America. Right, that's our music. Check us out on all streaming platforms. You can always check out our stuff. We got a bunch of albums. We got South Central America. We got South Central America SCA The Tape. We got Dollar and a Dream. We just been doing it for a bunch of time, so you will like it if you like hip hop. All right, man. So we're gonna get right into it because we got a whole bunch of stuff going on in the world, in the country, and as you know, in this show we like to touch on a little bit of everything. Okay, so first things first, I got for you guys is the information war. Okay, if you have not noticed, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we are in. Okay, can you turn me up a little bit?
Yeah, I got you.
Yo, we are in an information war. Okay, meaning that we are in a war for your mind. Okay, at all times, there is something coming at you, right? In the past, the battlefield was the battlefield, right? People will go up there first with swords and then with muskets, right? Now it's on the computer, right? Now it's for what you think and your influence, right? Wherever it is that you get your news from, whether you get your news from, this guy, right? Some of us get it from him. You might get it from him. If you think this guy is not as extreme as this guy, you're a fool, right? You're just as equally as foolish as whichever one you think is telling you the whole complete truth. Right, because there's a lot of information out there, right? And they're all trying to get your mind. So, what do you do, right? Who do you trust, right? That's something that I ask myself. Maybe you guys can help me answer that question these days, right? Because it's hard to know who to trust, right? There's all kind of echo chambers, right? If anything, I feel like we're in echo chamber wars, right? Everybody's my echo chamber is one thing, right? I'm sure that your echo chamber says another thing, right? Your feed. Right, it all depends on what it is that you type and all that stuff, but that's also dangerous, right? You should know these things. I'm always telling my sons here about the way that the world is, right? Because, like I said, we're bombarded by it at all times.
True.
But we need to know what's going on, right? So, does anybody else feel this way? Does anybody else feel that like kind of this is what's going on, right? Like now in every product, right, in every movie, they're telling you something, right?
I do.
This is right. This is something that I don't like, right? And something that I feel like since I grew up watching television that I can notice so much, right? I'm sure Chris is gonna feel the same, right? And then one thing I realize is because so many people are the same, right? So many people who have conversations with, they have the exact same, right? Everybody kind of only knows a little bit, right? Whatever kind of makes it out to the echo chambers, right? To the mainstream news, right? And if you're somebody who's like me who asks questions, right? Like always ask who owns the news, right? If the people who own the news are the same people who are the corporations, right? So there's no way that they're not giving you a message that they want to tell you, right? So know that, right? I'm somebody, man, that I used to read everything, right? I feel like there's a little noise. I feel like there's I used to read the newspaper, right? I used to read The Atlantic. I used to read The New Yorker,
What's
right?
the Atlantic?
The Atlantic is a newspaper, right? But it's kind of like, it used to be really in-depth news more so than the regular person, right? Most people read the newspaper or they'll read GQ or they read Time. The Atlantic is something that goes in depth. New Yorker will touch on culture, right? International news, right? The global times, right? Which is like China news, right? Now the people that I trust are, let me show you guys some of the people that I like to get my news from. And hopefully you guys, I'm trying to spread knowledge. And if you guys have better people, let me know too, right? But I like, anybody heard of Breaking Points, right? These guys are great, Cigar and Crystal. They're on YouTube. They used to be on something called The Hill first, which is, they left there to make something more They thought it was more freedom, but the Hill's pretty good too. The Hill, they have left and right wing, right? People go on there, they give big monologues on both sides, right? I feel like they present things fairly, right? Some people get their news from Oprah, right? Some people get the news from Joe Rogan, right? Whoever it is, make sure you vet it. Make sure that you are getting both sides of the story, right? And just know that you're always getting pitched something, right? This is the digital age, right? So a lot of the old world is gone, right? The news and all that, these days you have to get a variety of news. And if you only get one side, you're gonna have to self-filter, right? You're gonna have to self-filter and do the hard thing and hear the other side. Even if you don't want to hear it, right? You have to be informed. Because this is the battlefield of the day is information and misinformation, right? And what is labeled misinformation and what words are even used, you know what I'm saying? It's something that I find to be quite dangerous, right? Something that I'm letting people know that is what we are in, an information war, right? Whatever news you hear, it's coming from an angle, right? There is unfortunately, politics has kind of taken over everything, it's kind of bled into every single little thing. Okay, guys, so that is my monologue for the day. Chris and Jackie, let me know what you guys think about that. Do you guys have anything to add to that?
Testing.
Jackie, you want to go first? Ladies first?
No,
okay.
Sorry, guys.
No problem. I'm ready.
Okay.
Just checking. When I heard you say echo chamber, that always gets me so much because when I hit that search engine for me, I look at my echo chamber and I look at it like that's my brain. The Instagram, the internet, they know how my brain operates. It's all the pictures are thoughts that are having in my brain. It's like a cheeseburger, an attractive woman, and
right.
you know what I'm saying? Church, all these weird thoughts that, it's like your brain and they know how to get you. So when I think of the echo chamber, it's like, oh man, it's crazy. You have to how much they know about me and how much they know about you. That's how they really That's how they really get us.
Yeah, no, it's scary, right? It's scary, man. I saw this guy called Ari Shafir. He did this experiment where all he did was look up cats. All he did was like look up on he just cats, and he seen how much his feed would change, and it was like incredible. Every Instagram, every Facebook he opened, it was like just cats, because they read what you're saying,
Yeah.
Who do you trust for news, dog? Who do you trust these days? Like, I feel like before there was more of like national unity on who to trust. Are there other? Where do you look for, Jackie? Where do you get your news from?
I think that it's hard to trust being in media, right? Like I went to recently the National Association for Hispanic journalists, and the National Association for Black journalists. And I was among those that report the news. So as I was talking, and I'm just getting the game as far as journalism, right? I've been in media, I've been doing radio, doing what you're doing, but like learning what they do. So I asked a lot of the people that are on camera in the news, and I was able to talk to them, and I asked them, hey, who writes your stories? And they said a lot of the times, like if they're not in a part of a big network that has a bunch of writers, producers to do the research, they have to do the research themselves.
So and are they really doing it?
So for the most part, I feel like because of the way that our society and media works now, it's like who has the story first, right?
Yeah.
So I feel that pressure as somebody too.
Everybody wants to. It's like the rush.
You want to be first. You want to be like the first one that people go to, right? Because people are like you as a person that, as far as media, business wise, I want my numbers to go up. So sure, I want to be the first person, but at the same time, you also have that balance of like reporting facts or reporting what is coming in, but you're just putting stuff out there, right? Like I'm going to use the example of the car crash. We didn't know what happened, right? The one on La Brea. And I was in Vegas when that happened, right? So of course I was trying to go to the news, see what happened. Everybody had their own thing. Even that lady that they reported that they were interviewing that said her was her friend, there was rumors that the lady was a lie, like she wasn't really her friend.
To be on TV. I thought so.
But imagine if I'm a journalist and I'm in the streets and this lady's like, no, that's my friend. I'm gonna trust her, right? But you also have to you're on the street already. You want to interview them, but you also want to get the right information. So it's a challenge being out in part of that community. I got to see the pressures. Like, dang, you want to be the first because if your numbers aren't right, they're gonna boot you and they're gonna get somebody else.
The thing is that I think that now what's happening is because right now like CNN has fallen. Like all the people who are rushing to be first, because in news what trust is the key. If you don't have that, then it's like a good burger taste. Like once you lose that, you lose it, right?
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's gonna weed out because you're right. It's a rush to the front, but you have to wait and see, like, if anything, but nobody wants to do that.
Everybody wants to be the
right?
breaking news person, but you're not doing the work.
Yeah, they don't want to be right. They want to be first, right?
Yeah, and remember, you guys remember Denzel Washington like did that whole quote, like, if you do follow the news, you're misinformed.
If you don't read the news, you read the news, you're misinformed, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Guys, speak and
do your own research, as Cesar always says. As he always says.
Listen to your elders, okay? Listen to the people around you. Your parents and everybody are not so foolish, okay? They've lived a whole lot of more years than you, and they have some good information.
Your 100%. Grandpa, your grandma.
Let me segue with that one, because for me, I used to love ABC World News with Diane Sawyer. That was my Right. And if you think about it, Barbara Walters is gone, Diane Sawyer is gone.
Great.
All of the old school legends are gone. And who are the new journalists? The new young who looks good and fit. You know what I'm saying? Got to pay attention to our elders. We don't want to listen to them anymore. It's even in the news. It's even in journalism. I used to love Diane Sawyer. Yeah. And ABC took a dive.
Yeah, I don't need a good-looking person to tell me all the time.
100%.
So if I'm looking for information, I'd usually go to YouTube, but sometimes I get misinformation from YouTube. So let's say I missed an update on a game because I was out of town. I'd go on YouTube and be like, oh, the update, it added this, and then I'd play it, and then what he said is not in there. Or
oh, there you go.
It takes long.
Well, yeah. That's good that you found that too, though.
Yeah, so now I go to the official developer website.
Nice. All right, man. There you go for the youth. That's why you get your latest updates. All right, guys. We're gonna move on to the current events. All right, ladies and gentlemen, current events coming up. Thank you guys for logging in there on the chat. Tell me where you guys are at. We love you guys.
What's going on in the world of news today?
So the news, man. As you guys know, it's still going on with my dog, everybody's favorite, the best of 45. He got rated, right? Everybody knows all kind of stuff has been going back and like at this point, what is your what do you think? Like at this point, I'm kind of on some I don't like it's like the politicization of the FBI. The FBI is the Gestapo, right?
FBI open up.
It shouldn't be that way. They're coming after X. It's sloppy, man. Long story short, they don't want them to run, and they're gonna do whatever, just like they've done forever. And once again, like I feel like it just adds to the narrative of this guy's not one of them, right? Like if I don't even think it's Democrats, I think it's the Uniparty, right? Republicans and like whoever they are, right? The Uniparty, they don't like them, and then it just makes me like them more.
Yes,
what do you think, Chris?
Last week, I was very confident on the show, and I was like, I'm not worried about it. It's fine. And although I still love the way he came out, he said supportive things. He said he wants to support the FBI, and he said that the country, you can tell he doesn't want no civil things happening because of him, and because he knows that people are going to say it's because of Trump.
Quite
yeah. And I love that he's coming off right. That being said, I'm a little more concerned this week than I was last week, because I could see they're not going to let this go. They are going to find something on him. They are coming for him. So I still have faith and confidence in him, but they're really going. I found the documents, but it also they have top secret documents. Okay, what president doesn't know top secret stuff? Come on.
They're going to use and already just the way the news comes out, you could tell already on the main, but just the way they word it, just the wording of it. They're doing it again. And what do you think, Jackie?
You know me, I don't trust anybody. Okay. So I think anybody who has too much power and has too much money, it gets to them. So I don't trust anybody. I know that
money equals evil.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
Not
it can get to that point. So I just think I don't trust anybody. And even with Joe Biden, I hold him accountable. So even though I did vote for him, I still hold him accountable. To me, he's not perfect. He's not anybody. So when Hillary was about the emails, expose them. If you're gonna lead us with the right way, then lead us the right way. Don't do some dirty shit, because it's gonna always come to light. Lo que hace en la noche, comes to light. So let's go.
The last thing I want, to me, it's just what was I gonna say? You don't trust people with money, exactly, man. People always think, dude, Trump is not money, dog. People, it's always
but he has a cult following.
The thing, Trump, he's not old money. He's if people are wrong, if real, if we talk about real American WASP and all that, they were new money. The Trumps weren't actual money, right? he's an outsider, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like his money does not compare to the Pelosi's and the Schumers, and they have way more money than him, right? People always clown him because he's not a billionaire, but then at the same time, he is a super rich. And he does not run everything. I think this makes it more clear that
I don't think he runs everything, but he has a strong, influential following that has shown and proven how dangerous they can be. So we just have to be careful with that because, I mean, that's with any celebrity.
When were they dangerous?
When they stormed the Capitol, January 6th.
How many people died?
Come on, that doesn't matter. That just shows literally like there's no respect like at all. If you're gonna follow the law, that's not okay.
Okay, which is that's totally a fake event. But besides that, what else?
People have ran people over in protest. There's been shootings.
Who's killed more people in the last year, the left or the right? Who has had more violence?
Out of hate. Out of hate. I would say the left or the right. Yeah, the Republican Party, like the one
in the last year, who has caused more damage and death?
Okay, death. I'm telling you, it's the ones that literally that have hate.
Who voted with hate and who voted with love?
I don't think people. Okay. Well, now you're going too much because literally you're voting to get things like calm down. I think with Trump in office, he was literally doing too much. It was too much chaos from both parties. Right. Trump was stirring the pot so much that there was so much chaos.
That's what Tristan.
I'm not saying that he was a terrible president, but it's how you come off and how you approach it.
If you
let me say this with Jackie. Something that you guys both brought up a good point. Something with Jackie that I hate to say because I'm a Trump supporter, but something that I gotta say, it's a tough one. In a way, this is payback for the emails with Hillary, because prior to, I'm being honest, I was on my way to vote for Hillary in 2016, but that email thing stopped me. That was the turning point for me. So, and that was a Trump move that he did strategically on Hillary, and good for him, he won. Right. But this is in a way, it's kind of payback. You know, same way it influenced me then, I got to be like, oh, it's tough. You know what's funny? Like, I'm still with Trump, but it was like, that was the game. That's the evil game that they're playing.
But I feel like it actually gives people like, what's funny, dog, dude, people don't understand, dog. Put them in jail. You know what you're going to get when you put Nelson?
People are going to back him up. He's going to be a martyr, not a martyr.
He's going to be Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
Times 20, you know what I'm saying? So
you don't think that's dangerous though?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But I don't like the whole thing. I used to be a lifelong Democrat. The Democrats, they just don't get it. They only do loser things, or else they super cheat. Like when they just don't understand things. Just like when they came out with Ultra Mega, they just don't understand it. And then when they fuck up, they're like, well, we got to go back to just do whatever desperately to cover this up.
But I think that even that itself is unhealthy.
Desperate.
It's extreme. Like me as a Democrat, I'm going to hold somebody accountable. Like if I voted for you, I'm going to hold you accountable. I don't think you're God's great gift, and you get excused for everything. I'm sorry. And we have to, and the people that follow Trump are so blurred by his celebrity level that they don't even see sometimes his flaws. This man is not perfect. Well, so let's hold him accountable. So let's hold him accountable when they make mistakes.
All right.
Well, I want to say this too, though. Okay, because then that's where people say extremists and they say they're Trump supporters. And there's all these people because the FBI have gotten threats about Mar-a-Lago, and there have been things. But
too much with let's chill.
I know.
Let's bring it back. So, hold on, buddy. No, we're gonna bring it back. Okay, so just a couple of stuff I want to touch in. Else is going on in the world. We'll have time. We'll bring it back to this. Okay. Let me see here. Another thing is going on in the world. Breakfast Club is over, huh? Apparently.
I just heard.
Jackie, the homegirl left, right? She's leaving. Which is, you know what? Good. That show is terribly toxic for the whole community. It's part of the whole. It's part of it made hip hop, feminized. It's terrible. I'm glad it's over. Personally, dog, it was one of the worst. DJ Heavy, straight bitch ass fool, dog. I'm a street dude. You can tell fools who are for real and fools who are fake. Even within the hood, like everybody, just because you grew up in the hood doesn't mean that you are hood or you are hard, right? Even within hood, there's like little fools that have daddies that have a little bit more money, and they get like that. Their older brothers were gangsters, so they got the nice shoes. That's what DJ Heavy. He's one of those fools, dog. But anyway, dog, I never.
Are you calling him DJ Heavy?
Whatever.
It's DJ Envy.
Were you a fan though? Were you a big fan? Do you like?
Well, you know me. I love radio, so they definitely made a big impact to the culture. Sure. So I think I give them love and respect, just like Angie Martinez, Big Boy. Yeah. So they are the ones that kind of really started YouTube radio, to be honest.
Yeah, no, they definitely have a giant part of the culture and our history, part of history. I will not deny that, but I'm glad.
But I think it's time for some new faces, new voices. I agree. Like Czaleo, Mysterious Jags. Let's go.
Hey, that's a good idea. Another one I want to touch on, dude. That this is tripping me out, man. I might, man, I want to talk about the 87,000 IRS agents real quick. Did you know that they're coming after you? Everybody that voted Democrats. This is what they do to you. They don't give you.
Unless you're making under 400.
87,000. 87,000.
Wait, can you
Who do you think they're going to
again?
come after? Who do you think they're going to come after? Big business or small business, right?
Big.
And you know what? And in order to, and the application says that you have to have an AR-15. You have to know how to use weapons. So they don't want to take your weapons from you, but they want to give them to 87,000 IRS agents.
Bruh.
People think, but you don't want to. Anyway, next, moving on. The last one I want to touch on in the news is because it's important. Did you guys see about Anne Heche died, right?
Oh,
did you hear about Anne Heche? But dude, did you guys see this? Look at this. This is the video when they took. There's a whole rabbit hole about it because she was doing a movie about human trafficking, dog. So, dude, but look at this, dog. Look at the clip of when they took her in the car, dog.
So
what these guys are talking about. Oh, maybe they're bringing them out the other side. We just can't see it because, yes, they got them out the passenger side, thank God. And this is the first time we're going to see this this victim. It doesn't look that good, but yeah, it does look terrible. And for that anxious or that quick moving that was going on the other side of the vehicle. Oh my gosh, he's completely alive.
What the hell?
Even
that.
You see that? Dog, she looks pretty alive to me right there. That looks like, why did they come out wrapped up like a dead person?
I know.
Does people have?
Didn't even look like her.
Info on this?
They did. They did say because of the burns. So when you're burned, obviously exposure to sun, it's not good for you, right? So that's why they wrapped you because apparently she got burned in the crash, which makes sense. But yeah, I mean that's always iffy when people go like my grandma was alive when she was dropped off at the hospital, and then she was like in a coma, like she was.
Yeah, I don't trust that.
I don't trust that shit, bro.
People give them too much. Like,
her hand was black. Like I don't trust that shit. Yeah,
you personally?
Yeah, to my grandma. Rest in peace.
You know, like you guys heard about like Chris. You know, Chris Cornell. When Chris Cornell and the dude from Lincoln Park, what was his name? Chester.
That
Arrington?
lady looked like a zombie.
Yeah, they were both doing. They were also gonna do. Cause they had both grew up like in the industry, right? They were gonna do videos, same thing, and then they ended up passing away too, man.
That's scary.
Dangerous.
It's weird that they said twice that she had died. Like they were trying to wrap it up real quick. They were trying to make it. She's dead. She wasn't supposed to survive the crash. And we're going in that rabbit hole.
Yeah, and then she just ran into a house. Remember, there's that whole rabbit hole about the guy with Hillary Clinton emails. The guy that they had taken over his controls and they made his BMW crash too.
Next week's rabbit hole? Question mark?
Yeah, but these are crazy stuff. Yeah, guys. So,
but I could also say being controversy, like. Being in a car accident myself, you go in shock, right?
Right.
So you don't feel your pain, and you're not fully there because I remember one time when I T-boned somebody, but it was like a pretty bad car crash. Right. I literally with my cousin, she was in the car with me. I was like, let's get out. For some reason, I thought my car was gonna explode, and so I'm running out of my car in the middle of traffic, and then I also didn't feel my pain until like the day later. So if she could have been in shock, and then all of a sudden she's out.
When you're in a moment like that, your body and toxins, all kind of different stuff kick in.
Yeah, exactly.
So last summer, I went to this summer camp, and me, my mom, my little sister, and my brother, we got in a car crash. So while we were turning out of for where the school was,
right.
So we got in the car crash, and then a day later, my mom,
right,
her hand, she said that her hand was like it was like blistering.
Right, because you know what? At the moment,
adrenaline.
Yeah, man. Okay.
Yeah, the adrenaline.
All right, guys. So that's gonna be the news for right now. Then I got 4 minutes to get in the next segment, which is if I rule the world.
If I rule the world, I'm after that.
If we bleed into commercials on YouTube, we'll still talk about it after in YouTube. Oh no, we have to do the commercials anyway. Never mind. All right, let's get it in. If I rule the world. All right.
You have some messages, by the way. You have some comments.
Okay. Matthew said, "We need a third party, 100%." What's up, Matty boy? And this
Matthews.
Is this breaking points?
Oh.
Just like
Good, Matthews.
one day we'll be at that level. Dog. Okay, so real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we need to pay. If I ruled the world, I would pay the U.S. national team men's more. Okay. Apparently, we've been doing these poor boys wrong, right? Remember US 94, everything they did for us, not last couple great. Right?
Takes it back.
Because apparently, right, other countries, they come focused, man. Germany, they come to play, okay? When they won the World Cup in Germany, they actually, for 4 months ahead, they have 6 months ahead, they had played the whole thing. They invested a lot of money. We're not paying our boys enough because apparently we're paying as much as the girls, right? This is a darn travesty, okay? That's how little we think of our U.S. men, okay? We apparently don't look down on our soccer players. I'm sorry, U.S. men's soccer team. I'm going to be a bigger supporter. Apparently, people think you guys are jokes, right? Because Germany does not think they're jokes. They pay their men much more, right, for their service and for the things that they provide. So if I rule the world, I'll pay the U.S. national team more. I got to give them more hype because we got it confused here, and we think we're actually to help the women. We're actually disrespecting the men because now they got to go and compete against fools and be like, man, you fools get no respect.
Do you feel the same way about the WNBA?
You know what I feel about? Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah. What do you mean?
They don't get paid as much as the NBA.
The thing is, women. The key to both things is women watch. If women would watch women's sports, all women's sports would be rich.
So how do we know that the soccer women's doesn't bring in more money than the men's?
They don't by math.
How do you know?
Every statistic. Ask them. The U.S. men's national team brings in more. I will say that they should have the equal percentages, but based on what comes in.
Yeah, so I would base it. I'm the type of person that would like, business, right? Who brings in the most money? If you bring in the more money, then you should get paid that.
Correct.
So now I understand why WNBA does not get paid the NBA because their numbers is nowhere near NBA.
Yep.
But you got to do your part. But at the same time, if I want to see the numbers, like, because I don't know, I have to do my research.
Right.
And if it proves that the soccer team, women's soccer team, brings in more money, more fans, more merch is bought, then it makes sense of why they get paid more than the men.
Do it when you have a chance. I have had a chance, and it's not comparable. It's incredibly not comparable.
But they bring championships, right?
Yeah, but people don't watch. People don't buy the jerseys, right? And the thing is, like, I support it, but women, if you guys would just watch, half of the women would watch the things, they'd be the richest league. Because women have money, they have
Latinos,
time, and they love things. When people love things, they buy it, man. So
women's soccer, they get more of the endorsement. That's the big thing. Women's soccer gets more endorsements.
I'm sorry, you have something to say, Chris?
I was saying women's soccer, they get more endorsements right now because we're living in a pro-woman time right now.
Which is great.
So they get more of the endorsements right now, and that's what's happening.
All right, guys, commercial time. We're out of here. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Thank you.
Hey.
How much time? 2 minutes? 3?
To Mingle, a 30-day journal to make the most of your single season. Are you ready?
Oye, locos, this is Rennie with the Brown Skin Investors, helping communities of color learn more about financial literacy. Catch us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on TGN Latinx.
Hey, Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the Podcast Pit.
What's the Podcast Pit?
I'm glad you asked. The Podcast Pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them. The Podcast Pit is coming.
The Podcast Pit is coming. It's back, Jax. Have you heard? It's back.
Michael, what are you talking about? What's back?
The Podcast Pit. It is returning Monday, May 23rd. Brand new venue.
Oh my God, the Podcast Pit is back. Exciting. Where's it at?
It's going to be at Joxer's Daily at 7:30 p.m.
I know where that's at. That's at 11168 Washington Boulevard in Culver City.
So, Jax, will I see you there?
Oh, you know it, baby.
Yo, this is Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked. And even though they extra as hell, check out Never Not Extra on TGN Network. I have no two-part teleprompter.
Girl, what you doing on Tuesday? Girl, you know I'm gonna be listening to Never Not Extras. Oh, word. What time they come on? Girl, you know they come on at 8:30, but only on Pacific Standard Time. So 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay, how do I listen now? Only on the Good News Radio app, girl. The Good News Radio app. Okay, I'm about to download that right now. Go ahead and download that shit, girl, and get in the comments, girl. Oh, you know I'm gonna be up in there. Because you know Kirsten be crazy. And Moni be spilling that tea. Ooh, all right, see you on Tuesday, girl.
Hey everyone, it's the Primos Chidos. Hopefully you're enjoying this show, but if it sucks, be sure to check out our show, live Thursdays at 12.
Yeah, join me and my sister and basically my brother as we discuss everything from immigration to ejaculation.
If that sounds interesting, then we're the show for you.
Warning, the following podcast features discussion of sensitive topics, graphic content, and uncensored stupidity. Unless otherwise stated, it's not discussed by professionals.
Then we're the show for you.
Warning, the following podcast features discussion of sensitive topics, graphic content, and uncensored stupidity. This content is not discussed by professionals.
Then we're the show for you.
Warning, the following podcast
Mic check. I hear you guys funny. Can you guys hear me?
Uncensored stupidity.
Look back in.
Yeah.
There we go. We're good?
Stop the commercial.
Mic check.
Yo, all right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the second half hour. We're back here with Chris, a little Cesar Leo, and Miss Jackie herself. Cesar Leo knows it all. We're going to move on to a very special. If you guys follow my Instagram, you guys said that you guys noticed that it was a big deal to me, man. But we're going to move on to the great freaking movie of the week.
Hey.
All right, man. The great movie of the week, all right? The great movie of the week. We're actually going to get more time. We're going to not have lowering of standards today, so we can let these three segments kind of breathe today, because this is a very special movie to me. It is a movie known as Grease. This is one of me and Chris's favorites, and my cousin Mercy. We all grew up together.
Chris, you sound like you're in a horror game.
Yeah, the audio is a little weird, right? But it's okay. But we can. Okay, let me see it. Okay. All right, man. So let me play you guys. I have a bunch of clips, man. So we're gonna let them play a little bit. Let me
yes, sir.
Let me play the first one. All right. Second.
This is the main brain, Vince Fontaine, beginning your day with the only way. Music, music, music. Get out of bed, it's the first day of school. Don't be a slob, don't get a job, go back to class, you can pass. And to start the day off nice and fine, I'm gonna play a new old favorite of mine.
All right, man. That's the intro song, right? Let me play
Favorite
a
song.
to get you guys in the mood for this movie.
True. I've just had the best summer of my life, and now I have to go away.
You know what? We're hearing it. I wonder if the people out there hear it like this, man.
Yeah, do you guys hear the staticky? Because we hear it, so we don't know if you guys do.
Put it in the comments down below.
It said tap for sound, and then the first one played, but not this second one, not this last video. But the first, the cartoon one did play.
To you?
Is it?
Did it sound static?
Right now, I hear static. Are you trying to play something? I hear some static in the back. The cartoon went, but not the last one.
Let me hear it.
You know what? Unplug your headphones real quick, Chris.
Okay. I hear it now. I hear it.
I heard that.
Do you still hear the staticky? Right there, like right there, I sound clear.
I think it's coming from Chris, but I'm not sure. I was gonna check our audio.
Disconnect. Let me disconnect.
Yeah, it's
this sucks, but this is what I brought him in for. I brought him in to talk about this.
Chris, I know what it is.
Mic check. Mic check.
No, it's still like that. I think try pushing your headphones back in harder.
Yo. Okay.
Mic check. I hear you guys. You can't hear me?
It's still staticky.
Yeah, it's staticky.
It's not staticky on the lap too?
Yeah. I'm
Here
gonna how about you exit and then come back into the audio?
You got it.
Bye.
All right. Okay, here we go. All right. So let me
play some clips.
All right. So let me play these clips.
This is the main brain, Vince Fontaine, beginning your day with the only way.
I'm trying to you guys look. How about
we'll get to the bottom of it.
how about I'm trying to see if it's the computer connected or
Should we ask someone for help?
No, we're gonna go on YouTube. Which
Yo. Hello.
Uh-oh.
You're one echoing and you're so.
Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? Can anybody hear me?
There we go.
Theo Chris, try it.
Yeah. We're good.
Okay, I can see you. Can people hear me?
We can understand you, but it's just like, yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me, everybody?
Chris can hear us, right? You good,
Yeah,
Chris?
I can hear you guys clear now.
Okay, so let me see here. Okay, see.
He said it's good. You're back.
How low can you go? How low can you go? How low can you go? Rizzo's got a bun in the oven.
I don't know what's
Man,
going
yeah,
on.
guys, we're having audio problems today, man.
I'll just narrate the whole movie. Don't even worry about it.
Hello. 1, 2. This happens
This
to
car could be automatic,
which was weird.
systematic,
Automatic.
hydromatic.
You know what? If you're out there hearing us, can you guys hear us static or can you hear us clear? Let us know that. Let me know that, because if at least you hear me clear, then I'll keep talking.
Viewers,
Right?
can you hear this?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello? Can you hear us clear, everybody? It sounds clear to me, right? Okay. Man, so we're going to have to redo this. We're going to have to redo Grease. So instead what we're going to do is we're just going to redo this whole episode, because I really want to show the clips and all that. But let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it for the next couple of minutes, right? Because really more than anything, it got me sad because Olivia Newton-John died, right? And Olivia Newton-John was a classy lady. I love the movie because I feel like it's a simpler time, right? But also, like I was saying, so it's a story of Danny and Sandy. Sandy, they were a summertime love, right? Back then, there was no internet. So once summer was over, you would separate. She was supposed to go back to Australia, but she didn't. So he ends up going back to his regular high school. It's like somewhere in LA, right? You don't know really. It was filmed in Marshall and also in Venice, right? It's a big LA movie. I feel like it's a movie about hood LA, white people in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? Thank you guys for letting us know that we're clear and we're good. Okay, right? So then it's beautiful, right? Because he actually is like a biker guy, right? So then when she comes to his high school, he didn't know. And then we meet the Pink Ladies, which are like the cool girls from the school. And then the T-Birds, which is his crew. They're like the biker guys. But then all of a sudden they're at the football game, and then there's a lady named Rizzo. Rizzo is like the leader of the Pink Ladies. She's like a bad girl, and Sandy represents like the good girls, right? So she's like, I'm gonna corrupt her ass, right? And she's just like starting beef. So one day Danny's right there hanging out with his homies, and then he brings her out and Danny before that he had told everybody at school, how was your summer? He was telling fools, fools tell stories. Oh, I had this girl. It's a whole musical, right? And that's one thing about the song. It's a giant musical, right? Which is weird for us hood fools to like musicals and stuff, right? Chris, you got right? Chris, all right. Okay, so right? So then he was telling people about how he had hit it and all that stuff, but then she turns out that maybe he did, right? But then she pops up and that fool tried to, but then his homies are like, oh, I thought you were a player. He's all like, she pops out, he's like, oh, what's up? He's excited to hear it. Then he presents like, oh, what's up, girl? I'm rocking and rolling out these little girls, right? So then he loses her. So then we meet them, and it's their senior year, right? Between that, Danny is then like he doesn't know how to find himself. He wants to like her, but his friends don't let him. Rizzo and Kaneki, they're the whole couple. They're like the two bad people. They're like the sexy couple that everybody wants to be together, right? And then there's also Frenchie's story. She goes to beauty school dropout. She's this other girl, right? That we meet the pink ladies and the T-Birds, right? They all end up falling, like hooking up or not hooking up. And then Danny goes into sports. There's a giant dance off. It's just great, dude. It's just like it's hard to explain.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, it's musical. It's like the 50s. It was once again one thing I think for sure. John Travolta is the greatest dancing white boy of all time.
Can you guys hear me?
And he rocked the pink. And he rocked the pink pretty cool.
And he rocked the pink.
What is that the big movie to you, Jackie?
That is a classic. Like, it's one of my favorites. It's definitely, I didn't know I loved musicals until that movie. You know what I mean? Dude. And I know there's way more musicals before this movie, but like this really made me fall in love with musicals. Like,
so it's like this one started it all.
Yeah, for sure. This one definitely started it all for me. I just loved it. It was a fun movie. It was in high school. It had the good girl, the bad guys, you know, like the relationships. It was such a fun movie. Like, how can you not love this?
It's funny. I feel like it really hit like Hispanic people love this movie. And then even the whole rebel scene, anybody who remembers the rebel scene of the early 90s, right?
Yeah.
It was a big influence on that. There was a bunch of Danny. That was a big part of my early, like junior high and early high school.
Wait, you had the leather jacket too?
I was a super rebel.
Stop it.
My brother
did you fold your pants up too and show your white butt? Yeah, you did. No way.
I still had like that junior high chubbiness.
You're not allowed to be my dad anymore. You're not allowed to be my dad anymore.
Well, the thing is, though, it got me mad girls, big dog. So trust me, I'm sure you're gonna go through your own weird phases, dog.
Right.
The chain.
Right.
But, but rebels try not to claim it now. They be like, nah, we weren't greasers. Like they try to say that they're their own. They're like, shut up. Yeah, you were.
Yeah, you were a rebel, dog. You know?
Danny was your favorite.
There's this funny guy that does rebel like little parodies on Instagram. That he's funny.
I follow him.
Yeah,
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, man. But even that, the word is greasers, right? Because it's all based on that movie. And it's also like, dude, like John Travolta was such a people don't understand. I was like, John Travolta is a star. Like when I do this again, right, and you see the clips, dude, he's a star. He has everything. That's the movie made him a star in the Saturday Night Live, right? He had a whole era, right? This is a movie that was like a sensation, you know, and it still is to this day, right? So just a great movie, guys. If you watch this show and you're like, man, this is always talking about blowing up and action movies, right? How the hell are you gonna do Grease? Watch it. Or maybe you know what? Maybe maybe the time right now. It's like one of the movies you had to see at the time. You know what I'm saying? Like Dirty Dancing. Like it's kind of hard to explain. Or Footloose. Footloose is another movie that if you see it now, it's kind of weird, right? But
the dancing scene reminded me of Footloose.
Dancing.
I gotta ask you guys, what is your favorite scene in the whole movie?
Oh, it's so hard, man. I like Grease Lightning, the whole that go Grease Lightning, go we good to do. You know what I'm saying? Like even the lyrics, she's like we grab, you know. I'm sorry, but it's never mind. We'll talk about Let me see. I like to see that how he's like the T-Birds, how they're like it's really the crew is really Kaniki and Danny Zuko. They're like super boys, right? And the rest of the crew are kind of weak, right?
Yeah.
It's funny when they're all dancing around, being like, and then he's like, be cool, and then like stop it. And then the bad guys pass by and they're like, hey, this is not their turf. And then one of the guys, he has a water gun. He's like, oh yeah. He's like,
That sounds funny.
You know, funny.
That sounds funny.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's
one of those YouTube shorts.
How about you, Chris?
Oof, you gotta have to stop me because I could go all day.
For it, Chris.
To answer Jackie's questions, my favorite scene, who I really want to talk about also, is the whole scene right before Thunder Road between Kaniki and Danny, and that male bonding scene, the homies, the boys. Yeah. You know, it's like, you want to be my number 2 at Thunder Road, and they have that, and they hug, and then they try to play it cool, you know. But Kaniki's whole role, him as a number 2, I always pay attention to the number 2 or the underrated guys, the other guy. I always have a way of really just getting stuck with them. Like Scottie Pippen was my favorite Bull, for example. But Kaniki also played that role for me in Grease. So for them to be together and have that moment, Kaniki was always down for Danny. And that's what made them a solid crew, because you used to say this before, Caesar, like the Scorpions would have super beat up the T-Birds. Like them as a group, they were just tough.
Like grown men.
It would have been Danny and Kaniki against like 6. You know that's the truth, you know?
Yo, Andy, man, you heard sorry, my little Andy's checked in. Dog. What's up, big Andy?
Andy!
Oh, no, we're gonna have him with us.
Andy!
You know what?
He's probably the one that showed us Grease.
Yeah, dog. Another
He's
thing
probably the one that rented it first.
Yeah, dog. Straight up, dog. Andy, my brother Andy could dance better than my brother. The best dancing Hispanic fool of all time.
Straight up.
Straight up. Dog. He'll burn any. Okay, dog. In the Rebel days, dog. No, dog. It's the man alive. All right, man. So you know what? I'm gonna stretch it out. So, let me see if the clips play. Do you think the clips will play now? Everything's been
let's try it. Let's see if it works.
I'm gonna play a bunch of clips all at once.
This is the main brain, Vince Fontaine, beginning your day with the only way. Music, music, music. Get out of bed, it's the first day of school. Don't be a slob, don't get a job, go back to class, you can pass. And to start the day off nice and fine, I'm gonna play a new old favorite of mine.
Just a great song, right? And then so
Great
this
song.
is how they this is the love scene.
I've just had the best summer of my life and now I have to go away. It isn't fair. Daddy, don't spoil it.
It's not spoiling it, Sandy. It's only making it better.
Typical teenager, you always trying to get it in. Right? He's trying to convince her, but then she leaves, right? So then they make it to school, right? This is them at school. This is when they talk about they're all back at school and they're talking about what you do.
Hey, I want to hear about what Danny did at the beach. Yeah. That was nothing. Oh, sure, nothing, Zuko, right? Come on, Danny. You got her drawers, right? Yeah. Come on. Tell us about that girl.
What'd you do this summer, Sandy? Oh, I spent most of it at the beach. I met a boy there.
Just a wholesome love story, right? So,
Well, here we are again.
Yeah, but this time we're seniors.
And we're gonna rule the school.
Janda is so adolescent. We are adolescents.
We don't have to flaunt it. Okay, girls. Let's go get them.
the pink ladies. Every girl goes through a pink lady phase. Every high school, every class, they say, we go with the pink ladies, right? But it's tight though. It's that they were like these rebellious girls, right? So then they're in high school, right? And then it goes to and then just so, and then you like I told you, even when she goes, there's all these like.
I've never seen a movie with a sing along, in a live action movie with a song where all the characters are singing at the same time. That is not a Disney movie.
Oh.
Okay, I was about to say, wait, High School Musical, but you're right.
This is the scene where he plays, where she comes back into his life in front of his friends, right? And
Yeah.
Sandy! Danny? What are you doing here? I thought you were going back to Australia.
We had a change of plans.
I can't... Well, that's cool, baby. I mean, you know how it is. Rocking and rolling and whatnot.
Danny?
Rocking and rolling. That's the whole thing with the blah. You know, I want to, how I'm saying. Whatever, girl, you know what I'm saying? That's how guys be acting, right?
Oh.
Here's the scene.
Guys, be cool, huh?
They're not actually cool, man. You know what? Let me see. I got to see here between what he's talking about the friendship between Canadian.
Hey.
Well, listen, I'll pick you up at 3, huh?
Yeah. Hey, open up the door. What are you guys sitting around for? There's a spot over there. Get the hand off the front of the...
Yeah, and it's cool because that's one thing. Like nowadays, like male friendship is something that's real, right?
Yeah.
It's like nowadays, that they try to take it somewhere else, and it doesn't need to be. It's something
Right.
that's true that could just be that way.
Get to
Dog,
the
you know
next
what I mean?
segment.
Yeah, man. So you know what? We're actually we're gonna stretch it out, man, because this was important for me today to touch on this movie, right? So
yeah.
Other aspects of this that are important to you, Chris or Jack.
I love this film so much. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go
Yes.
For it.
Okay. So one thing, as I saw it now, it's been years since I've seen it. It's so nice to have the innocent of just regular boy meets girl, boy likes girl, girl likes boy, and then they just go with it. And throughout the film, they're all really acting. The boys are taking pride in being men. The girls are taking pride in being women. And I know I don't mean to be controversial, but I can't help but ask, what would Greece be like today? What is high school like today? Back then, it was so pure and innocent and just so kind of easy. It feels confusing now.
Yeah, it was like innocent, but if you look at it, there's actually innuendos of not innocence, right? But it was just how people actually are. Like they were teenagers trying to be bad, trying to go out and get the girls, like just like you are now. Like everybody always thinks that teenagers or young people always think that you're the first ones that feel this way and you're rebelling. You're not.
You're not.
You're not. Like everybody's been trying to ditch and everybody's been trying to do new things. Like you're not cool in any way, you know. It's actually like teenagers these days, they're actually like they want to stay home. They're actually lame, you know.
Speaking of you know, ditching, something that made me laugh about this movie, because right from the beginning it got me hooked. The song, the beginning. But if you think about it, it takes place in high school, but rarely are there any scenes in a classroom or teachers. They're always outside, which is where school really takes place for you guys, in the hallways, for all of us at lunchtime, ditching class, right?
I mean, yeah, but you also remember like the hanging out. Like most people think of school and the time that they spend with their friends, hanging out, making plans. Like a lot of the times my memories for school is like the times I went ice skating with my friends. I couldn't wait till Friday to go to Culver City to go ice skating. So it was those moments too. But yeah.
You know, let me play a couple of I'll play Grease Lightning and then the dance scene, which to me is so dope. Even right there, you know, you all see like the chicks will cream for Grease. Like he's
very handsome.
Right? John Travolta is a star. If you look at that, he's a star.
Yeah,
look at the hair. Look at the hair.
The way that fool knows how to dance. Dog. You know what I'm saying? He got rhythm, dog. And then the great scene where they do the final dance, where they're having the dance off. And then there goes Chi-Chi de Gregorio at the end.
Cha-Cha de Gregorio.
The girl with the best dancer from St. Bernardette's.
The worst station.
Which I wasn't like a big fan of that, like that they try to make her seem like that. Because to me, she came off Latina.
Yeah, she was. You know, she was a CSUN. She was a professor at CSUN.
Oh, was she?
Passed away like a few years ago.
Was she Latina?
At CSUN, she was a big professor there for a bunch of years.
Was she Latina?
Yeah, she
was I didn't know that.
She's a professor at CSUN. And then there's the whole I love
beauty school dropout, no graduation day for you. Beauty school dropout, after spending all that dough to have the doctor fix your nose up, baby, get moving.
It's funny, dog. When you actually replay this, dog, this whole scene is like putting her down. She's like,
I know.
You suck. She's
Can
like,
I say
right?
This is my least favorite scene.
Yeah.
My least
he's like puts her
favorite
down
scene.
the whole scene, right? It's so funny, right? It's class, but he's like, don't follow your dreams, you're dumb. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so funny, dog.
I did 2 underrated songs, and that one is one of them because it's also tough love.
It is tough love.
Look at the person before her. It was the waitress. If we look at it, Frenchie went in 1 week. She went from high school dropout to beauty school dropout, and she was asking about waitressing. And the waitress was like giving her regular advice, like, you wouldn't know, turn off the lights, whatever. But he came with the tough love. And he was like, you got the dream, but not the drive.
Not the drive. That's a lot of people these days. A lot of young, like our generation, like, we're all gonna be CEOs or rappers. Like we're all everybody's stupid, dog. We're fucking like I needed a Factory Valley in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Finish it, and we're gonna do the other segments, the rabbit hole, on the next one. So let me finish out. We got 3 more minutes. Let me do the rest of the scenes of the movie. We have at the end they do he has a final race off with they do the car, they do the race off against the Scorpions, and then they do their final goodbye. So let me do this.
You ain't gonna see me for that, Zuko.
Caesar was saying, what was that they look extremely funny on the cars.
Like it's just funny watching those cars going 10 miles, like going.
The classic race like in the 50s, right? And then he beats the bad guys, and they're just so great. And they end up winning, and they win the money. It's just so awesome. Then they have their final day at school. This always makes me nostalgic. Shout out to my cousin Mercy, who reminds me of her and my little brother and my big brother.
Graduation. Yeah, maybe we'll never see each other again.
Nah, that'll never happen. How do you know? What do you mean, how do I know? Oh, I'm falling, Luma!
Rest in peace, Olivia Newton-John. That just right. Jackie V were here dancing, man. It's just such a great movie, man. It's just Americana, man. If you have a chance, ladies and gentlemen, please make your life better. Watch Grease. Don't ever watch Grease 2. Grease 2, worst and Mortal Kombat 2, worst sequels of all time. Oh my God, nothing to do with it. Grease, John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John. I know it's a musical. I know my street cats out there. You're like, what, dog? You see what's up with you, dog? But trust me, dog. Just a great movie. If you love film, if you love music, just a part of American history, man.
Yeah.
Grease, let's give it up. We're gonna come back. We're gonna do the rabbit hole. We're gonna get to ask a couple of questions to my son Caesar. We're gonna have a great time. All right, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bro, I want to watch them.
Look inside and fix what you missing. Distinguished and honored, flavors and robberies and polish. Leading the meek, the fire. Call my name and the fuego. Pendejo lo dejo y thirsty like Diego. Robberies and polish. Leading the meek, out of the fire. Call my name and the fuego. Pendejo lo dejo y thirsty like Diego.
Rich? Dedicated to supporting their educators to grow their careers, serving students and families all around the Los Angeles area. Apply now. Bright Star Schools is offering sign-on bonuses from $5,000 to $7,500. Bright Star Schools is your next career move. So apply today. Visit www.brightstarschools.org and click join our team or email your resume to teach@brightstarschools.org. Let's educate within.
Girl Gina Views. Make sure you are tuned in to Ladies Night every Friday at 7:30.
Hey everybody, this is Mala Munoz, creator and host of Marihuanera, a podcast for potheads. Make sure that you tune in to Ladies Night Radio at TGN Latinx.
¿Qué pasó? This is Rix with the Brown Skin Investors on our podcast, Brown Wealth Radio, where we reach and teach nuestra gente on financial literacy, exclusively on TGN Latinx on the Good News Network, every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific, to be specific.
What's up, friends? It's I and Friends. We're here at the Podcast Pit LA. It was so fun. We came to rep the IE. I think we did a pretty good job. So shout out to the Podcast Pit for having us. Shout out to TGN. You guys should definitely check them out. You should check me out, Saul V. Gomez.
Y'all can find me at I Know Caesar on IG. You can find me at airbear_IE on IG.
And you guys can find the podcast at I and Friends on every social media network, except for OnlyFans. That's coming soon. So stay tuned. So follow us and follow TGN Podcast Pit. Have a good day, guys.
Do you want to punch people in the face and not get fired for it? Tune in Monday night for Monday Night Compton Mania, only on the TGN Network. We'll see.
Only on TGN Sports. Hey, what's up, business owners? Are you looking to take your business a step forward? Are you looking for more people to know what you have to offer? You are in luck. The Good News Radio has a special deal for you right now. You can get a commercial slot 4 times a day, every day for a month. If you are interested, email contact@tgnradio.net for more information.
What's up? It's your girl, Kirsten and Moni, and we are Never Not Extra. Be sure to check us out every Tuesday live at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on the Good News Radio app. And if you didn't know, now you know.
Hey everyone, it's the Primos Chidos.
Hopefully you're enjoying this show, but if it sucks, be
Welcome back, everybody, for our last half an hour. Last half an hour has been an eventful show. We've had a lot of stuff going on, but we're pushing through, and we're still going to give you guys an excellent show, man. So we kind of rearranged some things, right? So we're actually going to go right now right into the one of everybody's favorite segments, the rabbit hole of the week. All right.
The red pill or the blue pill? Which one?
That's because of natural, dog. All right. Let's see here, man. The rabbit hole of the week this week. We got the. Which one is it? I think it was. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, I'm blind. I got it.
Bye. Who can tell me where that's from?
Alice in Wonderland.
That's right. Good job, Jackie. All right.
I never saw that movie. Creeped me out.
We're gonna go into the history and to the world. Have you ever deep dive into the world of comic books? It's actually an incredibly interesting story and tale, right? We now live in a time where comic books and superhero movies are all over our life, right? This is a segment I want my little brother's, my son's opinion on. But the history of comic books is actually it's incredible what it's become because how it started off was such a side thing and such a joke, right? There's a lot of it started in Europe and there's a lot of stuff that you can say that, but comic books that we're talking about started off in the strips, right? Like in the 1930s, newspaper strips, right? One time somebody put all the strips together and made a book, right? But then the whole action and everything that we know started with DC Comics, and Action Comics #1 was Superman. Right. And that whole era, it went through different phases. Right. So when comic books started, they were kind of like a joke and they were trying to get people to read. Right. But then what really made them go was the World War II. I mean, World War I. I think it was World War II. Once World War II, they took the side of being very patriotic. So all the superheroes, and then Marvel and DC, but they all were they were different comic book companies. Right. But they ended up being that at the end. Right. But they were very patriotic. They'd have them beating up Hitler, right, or beating up the Japanese, right, and they would make them ugly pictures of Russia. Them too. Like, you have to like something I always talk about here is that when you have an enemy, you have to like other them, right? So we would make them very like it was kind of racist if you go back and look at it, right? So that era is what kind of made the stories kind of be around everything. But then once the war died, they died, and they went to that goofy era. Like remember Batman and the goofy the goofy TV show, they were like silly, right, and Archie comics and all that takes over, right?
Dog.
Yeah, but then what brings it back is like in the it was like once they started like this is our era. We're really before me and Chris, we got into it in the 90s, right? But in the 80s they started bringing like the real artists, right? Like Liefeld and the other fools, right? And they started making dark tales, right? And then but before that, so then there was another time though. I'm sorry, before that in the 50s, there was a dangerous time where the thing like that's where the comics there's like a Comics Code of America. If you read the comics, you'd always have the messages from them. It was kind of like the parental advisory on music, right? But there was a time when like in McCarthyism, people thought that it was just like what we think now, like wokeness and shit, right? But like that comic books were bringing bad ideas. The comic books were like subversion because the thing is, when I read them as a kid, when they were nerdy, people thought they were nerdy, but I liked them because no, they were actually intricate. Right. They brought up science ideas, right? And ideas of one thing that I also say is like, I hate what they're doing to them now because now they're using them as a tool. They realize that they influence everybody, and now they're using them to influence on the reverse, right? They didn't appreciate it back then. They're using all the stories they made because those stories are just ancient stories of like stories of Thor and the church. They're actually the same stories, but just made in superheroes. Right now, the powers that be have used that to subvert the culture, right? But there was a time in the 50s where they thought they were subverting the culture and they almost went out. And my point before that, though, was that they've always been multicultural. Like, there is no reason to make woke comics because they were multicultural and fair before anything.
Yeah.
Right? They had African-American, green people, it was all about issue. Even the X-Men themselves was kind of a, people say that Professor X is Martin Luther King and Magneto is Malcolm X. Right?
When you told me that, dude,
that's who they are, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Was incredible.
Remember I was always kind of lead towards
My
Magneto?
brain has expanded.
Yeah,
I was going to say that.
Comic books are just people don't understand, the importance of it. Now we live in a superhero time, and I feel like people don't actually understand it. They've been usurped and twisted to bring new messages, right? Like the whole thing about nerds and evil, right? And in comic book, even the way that they draw them, like the good guys always have a square jaw. Right, they always have a square jaw. Bad guys have pointy jaws. You know what I'm saying? And it goes just a lot into the American psyche, man. So, what do you guys have you ever thought about them in that way, Jackie, or you, C's?
So I have actually seen a few.
Talk into the mic.
I've actually seen a few things. Fortnite, a video game, actually made their own comics called the Zero War because of season 2 of chapter 3. It was a war against the against the villains of the entire story. So supposedly the villains of the entire story summoned by Geno, which is the villain. So when I listen to that, I'd say, oh, comic books seem cool. And since it was since Marvel helped, like Wolverine was in it, Spider-Man.
So then they still attracted you. Well, let me ask you something. Are there
Storm.
any new heroes? Are there any new type of heroes, or are you still into the
In the Zero War comics, those are the only ones that I have read and listened to. There are a few characters. There is the Imagined and Order. So Geno actually modified.
So then those are the new characters.
These are Fortnite characters, and they put it into their comic.
Right.
So the Imagined and Order were modified by Geno before they were born. So anytime they would die, they just respawn. And same thing with Jones, which is the main character.
Okay.
He was given immortality.
Nice. So then they're still making interesting characters. But one thing I kind of don't like what they're doing now. They have have you guys seen the new Warriors? They have guys called Safe Face and Snowflake. Like
this isn't real.
No, it's 100% real. Jackie, when you have a chance, the new Warriors, which is the old school comic.
Man, that's funny.
Their characters are ridiculous.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, but the thing is that now, like I told you, they're using these things to instead of they're using this to send a message out, right, instead of the other way around. But when you have a chance, look into the new Warriors, everybody, and then tell me that this is not a culture war and an information war. When you have a chance, look into the new Warriors from Marvel Comics and tell me that we are not in a giant information war.
You said Warriors,
Yeah.
and I've read this book called Warriors. It's about cats, and
Nice.
and I like Warriors.
Nice. It reminded you?
That's a
Right.
novel.
Right. Well, but like
The Fantastic
right.
Four.
And it's changed, man. Like the Fantastic Four, this was a family dynamic, right? What they were like a family that was always fighting, right? The X-Men were like colored people and people who were oppressed, right? Batman, he was a detective and he told the gritty side, right? Like they were interesting human stories, right? And they involved, on politics and sexuality and anger and revenge and divisiveness and all this stuff, right? They mean so much. Like comic books, not comic book movies, okay, or comic book cartoons, comic books themselves. If you ever have time, I think the golden era, if you ask me, is like 89 to like 99, right? Those were when some of the best storylines, some of the best graphic books. The Watchmen. Anybody's into the Watchmen? I love the movie. People don't like the movie, but I loved it. Isaac, hello, me gusta cómo pone atención, Chris.
Hermano.
Hey, we got gagging people with the things.
Hola,
All right,
Isaac.
guys. So that is the rabbit hole of the week, guys. Comic books and the history of it. Just an interesting tale. It's kind of parallels America. Interesting characters like Stan Lee, right? Copyright issues, right? A lot of the people who originally did all the drawings, they didn't get paid. And that's what, remember, in the era of the 90s, when they all broke off and they kind of made a whole new thing, and that's where Spawn came from, right? So it's an interesting industry. Business-wise, it's kind of unfair, kind of like the music industry. Just a rich plethora of things to come from. If you ever have a chance, guys, go down that rabbit hole. All right?
Yeah. Nice.
So we're going to move on to the things your daddy should have taught you.
Yes,
all right?
sir.
Which is kind of involves my son here, right? We don't have the do we have is the sound? Oh, right there on top. 6 years. Yep.
Trey, you may think I'm being hard on you right now, but I'm not.
I was like
trying to teach you how to be responsible. It's like your little friends across the street, they don't have anybody to show them how to do that. They don't. You're gonna see how they end up too.
All right, man.
What movie is that again?
That's from Boys in the Hood. That's
Boys in the Hood.
Furious Styles from Boys
That's
in the Hood.
Furious Styles right there.
Right, big dog.
Before he's spinning the balls.
Yeah, dog. So things your daddy should have. This is actually happened while my son was involved. Championships are not guaranteed.
Yep.
Okay, championships are incredibly hard to accomplish, and they are not guaranteed. Okay, this weekend. So this is what happened, and you guys let me know what you would have done, right? But long story, I don't want to. I'm not gonna put any name out. Apparently, they might even be people that our family knows, but it doesn't personally. There's nothing about that, right? But just the overall. So Jackie, this is what happened. My son here played in the championship baseball game. He actually has won one before, and then this time we lost, right? But he played great. My boy had 2 RBIs, Dinger hit it, ball catcher,
Way to
ball.
go, Cease. Way to go,
The team
Cease.
lost, right? Long story short, our starting pitcher had a sister's quinceañera, and he couldn't miss it to take pictures, right?
Bruh.
Unacceptable. Okay? Unacceptable. I had this argument with my wife. Hey, when you play sports or anything, ladies, if you have your dad got championships are not guaranteed. I played 25 years of sports. I didn't win a damn. I think I won one one time, you know what I'm saying? And we had like a bye week and we came in the playoffs. Like, it's hard. It's incredibly hard. It's incredibly difficult to accomplish, and it's a team thing.
Yep.
Who's going to be more psychologically traumatized? Or not, even if I'm sure they'll get over it. But let's say, now that we live in everybody trauma, I'm going to therapy. Which one's going to have a better therapy session? The son, I missed my championship game where I was going to be the pitcher. What if he never makes the championship again? Or the daughter who's like, my brother was not in my pictures of my quinceañera.
She's a 15-year-old. She
does
can
not
care less.
Yeah, the quinceañera, she's there about her friends and her chambelanes. She can care less about her little bro. Your quinceañera pictures, nobody cares. Okay? Your quinceañera moms and dads, nobody. The only people who will ever watch your quinceañera, when the whole package you're gonna buy for $900, only you're gonna see it, and nobody cares. Do not have your son miss a championship baseball game where he pitches. What do you think, Jackie?
People will argue with you as far as like it's just a little league game, but I am going to agree with Caesar on this because of the fact that I was raised with playing sports since I was 4 or 5 years old. Like I was telling Caesar off air that my dad almost missed my sister's wedding for a baseball game.
What a man!
Now,
yes, that's good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Here's a treat.
No, but I was just gonna say, like, he literally just honestly taught us, like, you're a part of a team. It's not just you anymore. You're representing your team. They're gonna count on you, right? So especially if you're a star pitcher, like I understand maybe like, and I don't want to take away from anybody, but if you're like maybe like a left fielder or like a left bench, you don't get enough playing time. Okay, te lo paso, pero you're the starting pitcher.
Pitcher.
That's a big deal. And I think that it's a memory. I have those memories of like childhood games that I played, and you're right. Not everybody makes a championship. Fortunately enough, my team always made it to the championship.
Stop.
Yeah, most regular people, man, it's hard, man. You know what I'm saying? So championships, they're not a guarantee. Parents, if you're gonna join a sport, commit. Okay, you're part of the other parents committed. Don't come up with other stuff. I mean, I understand, like, if it was like 4 hours away, then I get it, right?
Yeah.
But no, dude, it wasn't. Like, you got, and then this is nothing personal. Hopefully, you're right. Hopefully, they don't watch the show. If they do, there's no people. I don't even know who the man is, but that's definitely a man code violation. If there was a man club, bro, you be just check it right now. If we were in jail, bro, I'll be like, hey, bro, we gotta do something with this. You gotta pay a fee. This is a violation that we gotta be reprimanded, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, not cool.
Go ahead.
So Nathan, he was the
no
starting
names.
teacher,
No names.
the starting pitcher. He told me that he was one of the chambelans.
Okay. Right.
No, and I understand that. Look, there's gonna be people that are gonna argue with this, like, man, but that's your family.
That's
like,
a hard one.
But here's the thing, like when you sign up for a team, because my dad coached many years, and we had kids that would miss games, and it's unfortunate, right? We're like, dang, but they knew we had this game, like even regular season, like you have these games. When you sign up, you're committing to this team and to this season. So I know there's going to be a few games that you're going to miss here and there, but like if you're not a championship game though,
everybody
bro,
works so hard to the end, and then we fought, dude. My team, a great coaching, but we couldn't overcome, dog.
And mind you, the game is 2 hours, where the quinceañera is going to be all day
long.
So he can go take pictures.
You can do everything in the morning and everything at night. Dog.
Yeah.
I'm
with you on this one, but I know we're going to get shit for it.
That's a tough call. That's a tough one.
So Ace is here. I'm back. Regina here. He was probably a big part of it. Yep, true. And then Ace saying, "Oh, it was Regina." No, it wasn't us, guys. We played. And Ace,
it was Regina.
Ace is saying, "Bring Ace back on the show. We got you, Ace. We'll hit you here pretty soon." No, see, you got a shout out, bro. You got a shout. Oh, my God, bro, I love you so much. Depends how seriously, Miss 1313. Depends how seriously he takes the game, and if his parents don't take it seriously, they're not going to prioritize his commitment.
Exactly. Yep, but my thing is, if you're signing up your child on a team, you're committing to that.
Other people,
facts,
families, people lose work, people do,
and it's not about you anymore. It's about a team. So you have to take that me mentality and say, like, dang, how is this going to affect the team? Right. Because a lot of those coaches do not get paid. They're volunteering their time to teach your kids how to practice, how to play.
AYSO.
People take that for work. Yeah.
So
people, your cousin comes, your Theo comes, everybody. It's like this whole thing. There's all this effort, and then towards the end, not to give your best effort.
And you're also teaching your kids, like, oh, okay, whatever, like you can let it go. Like, no, if you're committing to something, finish it through.
What was that movie from Marlon Brando? He was like, I could have been somebody. I could have been a contender. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if this is the kid? Hopefully, it's not, the kid see a great kid. He's an awesome, great kid. I'm sure it's not his peak, but Man, dog.
Dude, I remember I was in when I was in Little League, my coach, he had a first communion, and it was his kid, and his son played with us on the team. And it was his son and his daughter had the first communion. So he got there, he wasn't gonna go to the game at all. And then he showed up late to the game, but the son had the suit on and everything. They got changed, they got ready for the game, they played in the game, and we won. And then he invited us all to his house for the first communion party. So it ended up being like this beautiful kind of unity thing where they mixed it in together. Maybe that could have been something. I don't know. I know invitations are different, but it was just it's a day I never forget. And I remember thinking like, damn, my coach is here, dang. And my teammate, he's in his suit getting ready, It meant a lot.
I was a high school football coach when I got married. And the day I got married, I went to go coach at night. We had a game on Friday night. You know what I'm saying? What you got to do, dog. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
that's how you got to do it,
there.
dog. So I love my wife, but we're still happily married with beautiful kids.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be that segment. All right, we got a couple of minutes to wrap up. So what can we touch on? We actually had some things that we didn't.
I want to talk comic books. Okay,
and then we have the questions I have here from my for everybody here on the panel today, man, especially a young man like Caesar, right? All right, man. So we're gonna get to know you guys, right? Young man, my young son Caesar.
Yes, sir.
Did we land on the moon?
No, because
what? Why do you think that?
Because if you think about it, if we went to the moon all those years ago, why do we not have any type of civilization there? Why are we only sending rovers, not human beings? We are only sending rovers. Why not human beings?
Well, I mean, it would be a little bit hard to send human. I mean, but maybe if we send by this time,
all years ago, and now it's 2020.
Yeah,
we still haven't gone.
You're right. Yeah.
Okay, son. What makes a movie good?
Storyline and backstory. And dialogue for sure. Dialogue.
Oh, wow. Talk to the mic. Okay,
dialogue.
Nice dialogue. Wow, dialogue. Pretty bright kid here, dog.
He knows what's up.
You have a favorite movie?
My favorite movie?
Mm-hmm. Do you have one or movies?
My favorite trilogy, or is it a trilogy? It's like it's like 8 movies. It's 8 movies.
Man, what are they called?
Harry Potter.
Oh, nice. I thought you were gonna say Fast and Furious. I'm like, you ever seen those?
I have never watched even half a second of a Fast and Furious movie.
Right. Okay. Let me tell you, what do you like? Because I always show this kid movies. What do you like? Movies made in the 90s?
Yes, sir.
All right.
You taught him well.
That's right, dog. What's one of your favorite old school movies that I've shown you?
Me personally, probably Mortal Kombat.
Oh, sick! Mortal Kombat was a sick movie, dude. We went to see part 2.
Great choice.
I watched Mortal Kombat 2 already.
Nice. Are you what is an important quality a big brother should have?
Kindness.
Oh wow, kindness. Really?
Nice.
Look, Ace told me to ask you, who's Little Caesar's favorite uncle? They're all on the
No
chat.
pressure.
No pressure.
Hey,
No pressure.
everybody's listening though. Everybody's on.
They're all
You better not say one of your mom's brothers.
Yeah, plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth. All right. Who's your favorite superhero, Steve?
My favorite superhero?
Yeah.
Probably. So can it be from any superhero universe, or does it have to be from Marvel or DC?
Period. Favorite one. If you can have their powers, who would it be? Right now.
Flash.
Bam. Flash? Nice. You like running fast?
Gotta go.
Nice, man. All right, brother. All right, nice, man. All right, good stuff, dog. All right.
What's up, little C's?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite sports team?
Period?
Yeah.
Dodgers.
Dodgers. Hey! All right.
Nice. I like this kid.
All right, man.
Nice. You're on the roll.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Either a director or a Major League Baseball player.
Nice.
Okay.
A director or a Major League Baseball player. Nice,
Yes,
man.
sir.
You can be both.
Last question.
Possibly.
Do you have a cool dad?
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
All right. I love you very much, son. Everybody, this is Lil Caesar Leo. Yeah. He passed. He survived.
Yeah.
All right.
Yo, Daddy should have touched.
So bad comments.
Yeah, man. So this week we missed. I will have a Hollywood tale for you guys next week. Don't worry about it, guys. We'll bring that back and whatever else we missed. But right now we got some time. Let's talk about what do you guys want to talk about? We talked about a lot today. The championship game. We talked about the comic books. Caesar, Chris, you got more to say, or the news?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I want to talk comics just to give you a little highlight because this is your show, C's. I just want to tell people a little outside the box stuff about my big broski. Anybody, the serious talk, the comic books, Caesar was very passionate about that when we were kids in a time when not many people were on comic books. He's mentioned a friend before named Melvin Cole.
Yeah.
And they had that bond, but Caesar was really on the comics before anyone. And then what came right after the comic books were the cartoons. So everyone thought they knew what's up with cartoons, and they thought because they saw the Saturday morning, they knew. And then Caesar would always be like, no, it's actually this, and this. And he would break it all down. It was like, you guys don't know what's happening.
I was that 12-year-old mad at the cartoon X-Men series, like, this ain't real.
Yeah. So
there's a whole industry of people who do that. Now I was one of the OGs.
So there's a YouTube channel called The Game Theorist, the Film Theorist, and the Food Theorist. And I guess Dad was the comic theorist of that time.
Good one.
The MacPat of that time.
Yeah. I remember that in the one that gets me, you just mentioned it. This is what perfectly describes you, Caesar. We were little kids and we were reading the comic books, and then you were just reading one of the X-Men comic books, and you just say, you know what, dude? I think I like Magneto. Like, I just see his point of view.
Magneto, the bad
guy.
Magneto.
If you look at X-Men, Professor X was like, hey, the good guys, we got to be good to the humans. Even though they don't trust us, we got to show them the way and show that they could trust us and we can all work together. And Magneto was like, you know what? Forget that. I got my powers and you guys are going to take advantage of it. So, no.
Yeah. He was always mean.
Yeah, and that was always Caesar being like outside the box, where I can tell you no one else around us was saying that or thinking that. Caesar, my brother, was the only one that was like, you know what? Hold on,
They both have a point. They both have a point.
It feels like the later movies they kind of show Magneto's side, right? Like I feel like they kind of show up, right? But yeah, early as a kid, I was like, this doesn't make sense. It's like the human seems to be real jerks, and then Professor X always like, give the other cheek. Like when I like growing up Christian, right? Like growing up in the hood, it doesn't work. Like, dude, you gotta know how to fight, dog. You know,
this is a reality. Yeah,
it does not work, dog. You know.
Then the other one, I would say one more. Yeah. Everyone was on Wolverine, but Caesar was always like, Cyclops is the leader. Cyclops is the one. And in the cartoons and the movies, they have done Cyclops wrong. In the comic books, Cyclops.
Yeah, the movies have what they've done. Cyclops, dude, this whole Summers bloodline of the Summers family. There is no X-Men without them. He's the ultimate, and he's the first X-Men, and he's also the Wolverine was not part of the original. Cyclops was the original cool. He was supposed to be the hero first, but then Wolverine came like decades later, right? I'll tell you something funny about how I discovered X-Men, how I discovered comics. This is something you won't believe. Top value Mexican restaurants. I mean, Mexican market. They would have, before I even read a comic book, they would have a Spanish X-Men coloring book. They would have a coloring book that's X-Men. And I just saw it, and I remember in the first coloring book, you could tell Cyclops was the main guy. And that's how the first time I ever ran into. And then when I saw them again in English, I was like, this is that cartoon that I colored as a kid, and it was like somehow they made some kind of Mexican print. It was a colored book. That's how I fell in love. Cyclops was the OG to me. And that's how I first saw it.
Original.
And then it reminds me to remember, like, speaking of the whole it's such a powerful genre. If you grew up going to church, if you ever grown up in a Christian church, they had, remember the little comic books they had with like the bad story?
Oh, they were dark.
They were dark.
They were dark. They were real.
No.
If you grew up Christian, they give you these little like comic books, and they would tell like tales of like, what happens when you mess with the devil and stuff. Very powerful.
They always showed hell. They always showed what hell looks like.
Yeah, they always show. Yeah, they were like they just the medium of art and pictures. It just speaks to us. Now we live in so much stuff that's advanced, but sometimes just the basic stuff can also hit a nerve. So, we got a bunch of comics. Let me read them. Let me see. Oh, Caesar, look, the tease. You're a natural, big dog. Thank you guys, Nuclei Group. All right. He got great taste. Good job, little C's.
Mercy.
That's right. Transformers and X-Men have similar storylines. That's right. They do, man.
Facts.
Elaborate. But yeah, man. But just all cool, interesting stuff, guys. What else was I going to say about comic books?
They're cool.
Oh, I'll tell you another thing I like about, another thing that Chris will connect, and all my bros are on here. I like John Travolta in Grease because of my dad. He just reminds me of my dad big time, dude. Everybody, my dad was like, he thought he was the Guatemalan John Travolta.
My dad could dance. My dad could dance.
My dad, he was in the Paisa clubs winning disco contests. He thought he was John Travolta. Like John Travolta was.
Are you serious?
When I was in high school, I was like, what would Mace do? My dad would be like, what would John Travolta do? So he told me, he was like, it's important to me. I still have the Saturday. I used to make all my pledges give me Saturday Night Fever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's important. It's because my dad, he just took his style from him, right? And my dad, like, it's just dope to me. So I just picture my dad being like the Paisa version of right, the Guatemalan version of
That's hilarious
in his own mind, you know, which is dope. That is confidence, dog. You know, like my dad got swag, man. I love it.
John Travolta stamped running track for me. I was contemplating running track and field, and John Travolta, Danny Zuko playing running track is like the stamp. Like, it's cool.
What do you mean?
Heck yeah.
Long distance running.
Cross country running. That could be cool. He gave me the stamp, you know. When I had to wear the little shorts and the little muscle shirt and feeling conscious, I was like, Danny Zuko did it. Danny Zuko did it.
Chris ran track and they go high, bro. You know,
it wasn't exactly the coolest thing, but then
and you got another comment right here.
All right, Lil knows it all. Found my Lil C's knows a little. What's up? So, dog, you're a genius, dog. Johnny. Johnny. Oh, that's awesome, dog. You nailed it with that one, dog. Oh man, dad. What a great show we had today, man. We had a bunch of ups and downs and emotions, man, but we got through the whole thing, man. So I'd like to thank you out. No, I think am I
46 seconds.
46 seconds, guys. So thank you everybody for logging in. Thank you, Jackie, for being here.
Of course,
the
I got you.
Everybody watch Lady Nights every Friday night. She's the OG of this.
Oh, you're gonna like this Friday's episode, by the way.
I can't wait. I am. All right.
I'm bringing a special guest, and he's really for gender roles and men are the leaders. So very traditional man. So we're gonna have a very interesting conversation.
Can you give us a little spoiler?
Yeah, she did a little bit, no?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Lil C's, love you, son. You know that. Do it again.
Hey.
Chris, you're the man, dog. We love you, big dog.
Thanks for having us.
Toda la familia, yeah. Un abrazo,
everybody.
In the comments, all the fam. We love you guys. Tell your friends. Cesar Leo knows it all. I do not know everything. No man actually does, but I definitely know more than you.
Oh, God.
Keep your head in the swivel.
Hey.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
Yes.
See you next week. Next week, I'm going to have Conflicto Armado up here. It's going to be dope. Hank will be back. Peace out.
Hey.
Thank you, guys.
I'm not going to be here anymore.
That's all right.